basically start off just congratulating all of you on what you've achieved in Southampton, both individually, and I know we're going to come to that later this morning, but also, and this for me is particularly important, in what you're doing in revitalising the WEA with the new Southampton City branch. And also, perhaps just as importantly, more importantly, the work that you're doing with schools in Southampton through the Regents Park Learning Trust and with the Co-op and with other partners. That's hugely important to the work of the WEA, but also to life in Southampton too. Do you know that when adults of any generation, so it's mums, dads, grandparents and children, learn together, the outcomes from that process enormously exceed the outcomes and the progression that you get if people just learn in their own generational groups. So working together, like you are, through the Learning Trust, through the WEA, setting examples to each other about learning and achievement from one generation to another, is proven to deliver hugely better results for individuals, for children and adults, but also for the schools that those pupils go to as well. They outperform other schools as a result of that intergenerational process as well. And you're doing it here in Southampton, and the WEA is a part of that as well, which I'm delighted by, and I wish you well. I mean, I think it's a really exciting prospect, and I hope, you know, it goes from strength to strength. I'm quite sure it will, because when you're working with organisations like the Co-op, WEA has been around not as long as Southampton, but for over 100 years. 108 years ago we were founded, and that's just a little bit longer than the WEA was founded in Southampton. And we go back nearly as far as the Co-op. They were founded just over 100 years ago as well. So you've got two organisations that depend completely on membership, democracy, activity within those organisations, working together to make this work. And I'm confident that as a result of that, what you're doing here will go from strength to strength. WEA is the largest voluntary organisation in the country that provides adult education. Every year, you'll see it on the papers that are on your seats, every year over 100,000 adults attend classes with the WEA all over England and all over Scotland. There are over 10,000 of those classes that they can attend as well. But the WEA is also much, much more than that, and it's what I want to touch on here and what I've hinted at earlier. Because we're also an active democracy ourselves. I met a couple of you at our annual conference in Nottingham in October, and was pleased to do that. In that conference, there were speakers, we debate motions and issues and things like that, but we also elect WEA members like you to become president or deputy president or treasurer, in effect to take office and be part of that active democracy in that way. You can do it in your new branch. There will be officers that you need for the branch as well, in the Southampton City branch. And then the Southampton City branch is part of a region, southern region of the WEA, and again, there are opportunities to do it there. And what we're trying to do in the WEA, and have been for the 100 years or so of our history, is to try and, just like Southampton City Council, just like the Mayor was inviting you to think about earlier, we're trying all the time to engage with people in communities in this country, in Southampton, and enable them to achieve through learning. That's the most important part, but also to play a part in running and organising a fantastic organisation, the WEA, that's been around, as I say, for 100 years, but has got a lot more life in it yet. And we need people like you, and people from branches like yours, your new revitalised branch, to play an active part in this organisation. So whatever you do in response to the invitation from the Mayor to play a part as volunteers and more actively in the life of Southampton City Council and Southampton itself, I'm also saying to you that there are similar opportunities for you to do that within the WEA. And one of the people that we're celebrating a little bit today, Kay Smith, who's also mentioned on those pieces of paper that you've got with you, she's someone who, throughout her life in Southampton, played a part both with City Council, she was a JP, she was all sorts of things in the city, but she also played a huge and significant part with the WEA in the way that I'm saying that you can as well. And one of my aims is not just to ensure that the WEA continues to provide adult education to as many people and more as it has done every year, as I've described, but also that we're looking for and finding the new people, and it could be you, I hope it is, who are going to come forward and take on that leadership, democratic leadership of the WEA. And I'm hoping the fact that 2 of you were at the conference in October will mean that we'll see lots more of you in 2 years' time when we have our next conference and do the same sort of things again in Cambridge. I really look forward to seeing you there. Well, maybe it won't be me at that one so much, I hope to be there, but my successor as General Secretary of the WEA will be running that one. And she, first woman to be General Secretary of the WEA in its history, so we're making history as well, just like you are in Southampton. And I'm delighted to be here, and I really do congratulate you on all that you've achieved and in what you're doing. And I'm really looking forward to taking part in the celebrations that are going to follow and talking to some of you as well when they're over. So thank you for inviting me, and really well done. I'm delighted.
Introduce myself. So I'm Pearl Ryle, and I'm the Regional Education Manager for the South East region of the WEA. And as I say, I am stepping in for Derek, and I was just going to spend a very few minutes just sort of setting the scene of some of the things that have happened with the WEA in Southampton. And as Richard said, it was started in 1907, which was just 4 years after the WEA itself was established. And you know, in those early days, it was providing routes into education for people who just couldn't get access to university, and that's what we still do now. So that history is there. We've done all sorts of things over the years and worked with all sorts of different people, and those include organisations like Surestart, who are here now, the City Council, which is why we're so happy to be here today, their Community Cohesion Department and their Adult Learning Department. And because we're an independent organisation, we're able to access a lot of project funding that we bring into the city to enable us to do really interesting work. The WEA has these sort of 3 strands to its provision. So we have the really important cultural studies, which is about liberal education for people who maybe otherwise, you know, have no way of studying the humanities, and particularly at the moment, the way funding for universities is being cut. It's going to be very difficult for people to get a humanities education, and coming to WEA classes is one way that you can study history and art and literature. And that is provided within the old WEA Southampton branch. And part of this new initiative is to link that really sort of rich history of that kind of provision with the work that we've been doing at the Clovelly Centre over 10 years now. Really interesting work right in the heart of community, working with our neighbours, Surestart, and with people like Twix, who are here today to get some of the certificates as well. And now here, the big cause for today is the new partnership that we're developing with the Regents Park Learning Trust. So we'll have a genuine citywide WEA Southampton, which will be doing so many different things in so many different communities that it's really exciting. And this has very much been made possible by Kay Smith and the small legacy that she left to the WEA as a sort of recognition of her great commitment and love of the WEA. And she would be so excited to see so many people in this room today sort of participating in an event like this, that is a celebration really, and a celebration of her life. So It's really exciting to be here. I think I'll call it a day at that, but I mean, we've been here for 100 years, and let's really look forward to the next 100 years, because I'm sure we'll still be here then. So I'm going to hand over and hear a little bit about the Regents Park Trust.
Okay. I'm Andy Withers. I'm representing the Regents Park Learning Trust. The Regents Park Learning Trust has only been in existence since September 2011, so a very short period of time compared with the WEA. But our schools have been in existence for a long time, and certainly Foundry Lane, which is my school, has been in existence since 1902, so very long time in line with WEA. The Regents Park Learning Trust has 4 founder member schools, which is Regents Park Community College, Bannister Nursery and Infant School, St John's Primary School and Foundry Lane Primary School, and 3 founding members. And we're very pleased to be working with the WEA and also with Total Coverage, which is a publicity company, and Southern Health NHS Trust. And this is what makes, a learning trust really, really exciting. Not just working with schools, but working with other educational organisations. And not just with education for children, but education for the whole community. And, these are our, objectives really, which is, to advance education for the benefit of the public, and in particular for the schools, and also for other organisations that we work with. I mean, we are a charitable foundation, and this trust has been formed on collaboration. That's the key thing. The trust has a cooperative trust model, which means that we have trustees, we work together, in an equal partnership. And one of the most exciting things for the future is to actually form a stakeholders forum, which will give the local community an opportunity to have a real say within the work of the Learning Trust, and particularly to be able to move forward the community education. We've only been in existence for a short time, but we're already getting inquiries from other schools who want to be involved as part of the Trust. So, it looks very good for the future that, not only have we started with a very, very strong group, that other people want to join and be part of that group. It's all about, mutually beneficial links between the different groups that we work with. And if we're thinking in practical terms, in terms of our partnership with WEA, we will serve by sort of about 2015 about 3,000 families within the city, which is a massive amount. And we hope that working with WEA, we will be able to make adult education even more accessible to the school communities that we serve, so that adults can have the exciting opportunities to learn within the school communities, the same as our children do. And we're lucky that we've got children here today to represent our schools. So I'd like to say well done to WEA for the relaunch, and we are really, really excited in sharing in that relaunch today as Regents Park Learning Trust. And I'm sure the Trust will go from strength to strength from our start in September, and we're going to be able to offer great benefits to the Southampton community through this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you.